Does God hold the children responsible for the iniquity of their fathers? Now, this is a question we want to answer in today's teaching time. If you are here for the first time, can I ask that you subscribe to the channel and then click on the bell so that whenever I'm doing a live broadcast, you will be notified. It's very important that that you do that, so that anytime I'm doing a live broadcast, you will be one of the first people to be notified. This is going to be done anytime, I'm not going to have a specific day, a specific time to be doing this. So I would suggest that since majority of us are home, most countries are now on lockdown, so majority of us are home. Let's take this opportunity to study the word. Let's take this opportunity to get into the word and get to know more about the things that God has taught us in his word. So once again, you are very much welcome. And my name is Promise Ave. And it's good to see you. So let's go into the study. Does God hold the children responsible for the iniquity of their fathers? This is a question we want to answer in this study. Now, there are those who believe that God does hold the children, or God does hold children responsible for the iniquity of their fathers. Some people believe that. There are some who believe that. And most times when I think of things like that, I say to myself, I'm not sure of any law court that would punish the children of someone who has done evil things. Our human law courts would not do that. So the question is, why do we think God would do a thing like that? But like I said, this is a study that we want to go into. We want to actually help ourselves answer this question. Does God hold the children responsible for the iniquity of their fathers? Does God do that? Some believe that God does that. And there are even the disciples of Jesus thought that God does hold children responsible for the iniquity of their fathers. The disciples of Jesus believed that. And it is important for us to really do this study, because I know of many teachers, many pastors, I know of many people who teach that God holds the children responsible for the sins of their fathers. I know that there are pastors who believe that. There are Bible teachers who believe that. And What we are going to do today is to find out. We want to go into the scriptures and find out. Now, if you look at John 9, 1 and 2 from the NIV, Jesus' disciples believed that someone's sin or a father's sin can be, or the children can be punished for their father's sin. The disciples of Jesus believed that as well. So it's not strange to hear people say that today. Now, if you look at John 9, 1 and 2, it says, as he passed along, he noticed a man blind from his birth. Listen, he noticed, and that is just right, he noticed a man blind from his birth. Listen to this. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned? Do you get that? Rabbi, who sinned? This man, or, listen, or his parents? This man or his parents? So we are being told that the disciples believed that it is possible for this man who has been blind from birth, it is possible for him to have this put on him because of his parents' sin. The question is, who sinned? This man or his parents? So like I said, it is not strange to see or to hear today that God holds the children responsible for the sins of their fathers. Now, there are some who also do not believe that God will punish the children for the iniquity of their fathers. Some also do not believe that. So, the first thing we did was, we said, there are some who believe that God does hold the children responsible for the sins of their fathers. And we saw that the disciples of Jesus Christ also believe that. You understand? The disciples of Jesus believe that. And now we want to look at the other side too. There are those who believe that God will not punish children for the iniquity of their fathers. Personally, I believe this because, like I said earlier on, there is no human court that would hold the children responsible for their father's sin. A father has sinned, and you think a human court would say, oh, because the father is not alive to be punished, we are going to take the children and punish them as if they had done the wrong. I don't believe that any human court will do that. I don't believe that. So let's have a look at a few examples here. Like Abraham, there are some who believe that the judge of all the earth does what is right. Like Abraham, there are some who believe that the judge of all the earth does right. And I fall under this category. I believe that the God or the judge of all the earth does right. I believe that too. I am a believer of that. Now, let's look at a scripture relating to Abraham. Genesis 18 verse 25. It says, and this was the time when there was going to be a judgment over Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham and God were going through this debate whether God should go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham was defending Sodom and Gomorrah. There was this debate between would you punish the people if you have 50 men righteous and that sort of thing. So let's look at Genesis 18:25. And this is Abraham saying this to God. He says, and I'm reading this from the Message version of the Bible. He says, wouldn't you spare the city for the sake of those 50 innocent? Wouldn't you spare the city for the sake of those 50 innocents? Listen to what Abraham said. I can't believe, listen, he says, I can't believe you would do that. I can't believe you would do that. That is Abraham. I can't believe you would do that. Kill off the good and the bad alike, as if there were no difference between them. This is what Abraham believed, and I also believe that. Kill off the good and the bad alike, as if there were no difference between them. There must be a difference, and there is a difference. And listen to this. It says, doesn't the judge of all the earth judge with justice? Of course, the God of all the earth judges with justice. And that is my point. That even if there isn't a human law court, so far I have not heard it, that a father has sinned, and then because the father is not alive to receive the punishment, the children will be brought in and given the punishment as though they were the people who sinned. That is not what happens. That is not what happens. Now, I have given you two options. One, there are those who believe that God holds the children responsible for the sins of their fathers. Two, and I fall under the second category, there are those who believe that God does not hold the children responsible for their fathers' sins. The God of all the earth judges with justice. That is what I believe. So, my next question to you is, among these two options, what do you think? What do you think? What are your views concerning this? I know that there are great teachers who have taught that God holds children responsible for the sins of their fathers. And I know that most of them teach things like generational curses. Your father did something, your father has been cursed, therefore all the family after him would go through this sort of punishment or sin, So, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that God holds the children responsible for their father's sins? Or you believe that the judge of all the earth will judge with justice. Once again, no human court would hold the children responsible for a father's sin. So the question is, why are we charging God of such a thing that no human court would dare do? And I believe even if a human court does that, I believe there will be an uproar. There will be an uproar. People will stand up against that and say, no, you can't hold the children responsible for their father's sins.